Yes, sir.
How many calls do you think we've made over the last 18 months, Jeff?
A lot.
Well, I'm going to concur. And I just got a text from Max. We're not
Okay.
exactly blindsiding him with anything, but you've been following what I do and how I do it and why the psychology of this is important and how it
Correct.
all strings out. I mean, the lease is done. It's brilliant. It's time to get this store retooled, but we want to hear his inflection when we ask for the few little things and then
Correct.
the scratch of the deposit. So he texted me back. Let's get this thing done. Here we go. This is
All right.
always my promise to you to get my fee back
Yes,
and get this
sir.
thing scratched off. Here we go.
You got it.
It's not luck. Experience.
How you doing?
As I live and breathe. Ready to get this thing done. How are you, Max?
Yes. I'm good. How are you?
Never felt better, never had more. All right, we've got a few little things, and we can send it back in red line, or we can just put it in an addendum. Not a big deal. Just wanted to talk to you and get this done so Jeff can sign. So the permit, I didn't go through line by line, but the lease looks good. The tweaks are it says that it's for a hair salon, the permitted use. Obviously, it looks like it's a boilerplate previous lease.
Yeah, that's just a holdover from another deal we did over there.
That's what I figured.
Uh,
Jeff
Yeah,
Jeff is very thorough, obviously, in going through it.
I'd say that's one we probably should end up changing.
Exactly. The abatement did not include the agreed upon clause that we talked about, 90-day rent abatement to commence once the equipment had been installed, if that makes sense.
hmm
So that wasn't in there, or if it's going to be an addendum. We had an email from you verifying that dated 10/26. We can send all that in an email.
Yeah, if you could bring that up to the top. That's what I probably sent the owners, and they ended
Yeah.
up drafting the lease. So
Yeah, we went back and forth about all this, and there was, time went by, and we got the go ahead, but it just wasn't in the lease. Uh, Jeff wants to know if electronic payments are acceptable. I assume they are.
they're not only acceptable but preferred, I'd say.
Absolutely. And your boilerplate lease also states that you will have access to sales records. We need that scratched.
Okay.
Didn't think that'd be a
They
problem.
might,
And finally,
they might have something indicating sales when it's time to renew. But I'd say that's a bridge you can cross in quite a bit of time.
yeah, I've seen that before where the landlord is a participant in said profits, et cetera. So it makes sense to me, but that we never even talked about that because it's not part of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And finally, you have your boilerplate lease as a lease deposit. We ask that you scratch the lease deposit, as obviously we're going to be spending close to 200 grand on washers and dryers.
The security deposit?
Correct.
Probably can't do that one for you.
Well, let's do this. It's not about the money. It's not a lot of money, but to us, a security deposit on a commercial lease, especially a 15-year term, is just saying, hey, we want to be able to use your money against you if you can't get this place built out. So if you're saying you can't do that without asking, that's fine. I want to move forward with this as well, as does Jeff. Let's put it towards future rent. Put it towards month 36, whatever the case is. So it's that whole skin in the game. He comes in with the check and it pays future rent.
We could probably figure something like that out. Or, maybe if you don't want to pay a security deposit, maybe we just take 2 months of rent up front.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine.
That'd be the thing, and then we don't have to worry about moving money from escrow accounts to operating accounts.
Yeah, perfect. Like I say, it's not a lot of money. And I don't want to say it's the principle of the thing. I've seen a $50,000 lease deposit in LA County. And it was like, what? And they said, well, your tenant is on an E3 visa and they don't have a social security number. It's like, okay, but they're dumping $500,000 into this business. And you're saying their social, my social is great. I've got exquisite credit, but guess what? Next week, I might get late on a payment and my social security number means nothing. You know what I mean? But that's not what you're doing here. All right. Well, do you have the authority to decide which it is? Are we going to pay 2 months future rent? I'd love to get it done on. Okay.
I think that's a pretty simple change.
Yeah.
If
all
you
right.
could get me all proposed changes in my deadline.
Perfect. Yeah. One or the other. Okay. Pay 2 months future rent. And like you say, if we have to move it into escrow and back out again for lease deposit, that is kind of a pain in the ass. And I understand that.
Yeah. I think just taking 2 months of rent up front would satisfy both parties pretty well.
Brilliant. I will take these 1, 2, 3, these 5 bullet points. We'll email them back to you and let's get this thing signed.
Sounds good.
Max, you've been a pleasure to deal with.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Boom.
All right, I'm a little lost.
All right, where are you lost, my buddy?
With the they want now 2 months up front.
Well, there's what they're saying is zero deposit. So
okay.
Look, there's more to argue. What they're saying is you come to the lease signing and you give them 2 months rent, but that rent won't be due until your 9 months of abatement is up.
I see.
So you're going to write them a check. They're not going to cash it until your abatement is up.
Okay.
So what happened now is your lease deposit just went away.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what's new, fun, different, ironic, whatever verbiage you want to use with Max is he's actually able to make some of these decisions. You could tell, because when I said, well, we want to see the lease deposit go away, I can have stronger verbiage, but it's like, it's all we want to do. And then I shut my mouth. And he's like,
gotcha.
Well, that's not going to happen. Okay, if he says with authority it's not going to happen, we can switch gears and we can say, how about we come to the table with the deposit that pays future rent? But in this case, he's like, no, you pay 2 months. So it's your money.
Right.
You have to understand, and I think you do, you're coming to the table with a check for 2 checks, future rent, once the abatement and the free rent is done. And you've got that clause here that says that they won't start the abatement until you're retooled.
Correct.
Yeah. So you couldn't be in a better position, my friend.
Awesome.
I agree.
Sounds good to me, brother.
You are not the first of my clients who has moved with the help of a laundromat, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And right now, people are getting the hell out of California. People
I know.
Are getting the hell out of New Jersey.
That's right.
What's a gallon of gas cost you now?
Last I saw it's about $3.47.
Well, that's not bad. I think New Jersey's one of the better states.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Good for you. It's more here on the West Coast.
Yeah, I believe it.
But
California, forget it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I think the point being, this can be the vehicle to help you and others like you to say, you know what? I want to get out of here, wherever here is.
Yeah, man. Yep.
So why not utilize Danny to make calls in another state, in another region? Now, you're unique because you had your cousin there to help you find those stores and physically scout those stores. I've got folks that travel for work. I've got truck drivers I've put in stores exactly like you. And they say, you know what? I've traveled the country. Northern Nebraska is the best place I've ever been. I just want to live there. And so when they come through town, they scout.
Wow.
So I might be streaming this live. What do you want to say?
I don't know. It's just thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
Thanks, dude. You would. I mean, if you had your heart set on a laundromat, you never know.
You have a very cool and calm demeanor. I tried doing this on my own for a while, and it is very frustrating. I knew I needed help, and you were the only one to help.
Thanks, man.
So I signed you on, and look where we are today. Now,
more stores. These places are like potato chips. Substantial wealth. How old are you?
46.
Okay, perfect. Substantial wealth will come from a string of these stores. Of these stores. It's not hard.
Yep.
There is.
Once I'm there, I'm gonna conquer South Carolina.
Yeah. There's a lot more to come as well, Jeff. A lot more to come.
Yeah.
As I've always said, my time doesn't expire. You're well aware of this. Look, you're not really deep-seated in how you get your contract employees in. We'll talk about that. What is to come? I've been through it. I'm going through it with my current operators and students, and you're right there in the group. I'm also going to plunk you into my private Facebook group for folks that sign leases through me. Oh, what a resource. You've got the Willifords, you've got, and that group, it's a private group. I'm not interested in putting thousands of people in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think you even knew about that, did you?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't. Now it's kind of cat's out of the bag, but that's what is to come. You go into that group, you're able to communicate direct. Hey, if it's anything from, gee, how do I fix, the price on this washer, or should I put an ATM in? You can reach out to me, or you can reach out to this group of amazing minds, and they're all our people. So happy to help.
Awesome.
All right. I want you to snap some pictures when you sign this thing, and onward and upward, bro. I love you.
That's it. Love you too, bro.
Talk soon.
All right, man. Bye.
Ciao. I do. Never met him. Love the guy. Still got more calls to make today. Leases dropping. I'm not an evil soothsayer. I'm not here talking landlords into or out of anything. I'm just making sure that you don't make mistakes. Last week, I consulted with a guy. He said, look, I got $300,000. I'm going to buy a laundromat. I want you to help me with this process. How can I help you? It came down to him wanting a tax write-off. And that discussion on this side of the spectrum about writing off $300,000, something most of us can't understand. You want a tax write-off? Get your lease, get your deposits scratched, spend the money on the equipment. There's a massive depreciation in brand new washers and dryers. This is the beginning for Jeff. The beginning for you, like, subscribe. That's not going to help you. Follow the link to my newsletter. Understand what this is all about. I'm now streaming all of my content. I'm adding content daily. This video might end up going private, and it will be in amongst all of those videos. Hundreds of hours of these types of calls. Did you click off yet? This is what I do. Come along. Come with us. Free Laundromat.com.